And with that, everybody, we are rebranded episode 1 of the Hi Mark podcast
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
with Damien Dio and Kat. And for those who don't know, the Hi Mark reference is from the cult classic The Room, made even more famous by the movie The Disaster Artist.
Yep.
So we all were kind of in the group chat trying to figure out, hey, how should we rebrand the show? What should be our thing? So not only are we the Hi Mark podcast, wink, wink, but we also, it's a place where you get buff and you learn stuff.
Also, me and Kat smoke weed a lot. So
Yeah.
it's from the earth, Damien. It's from the earth, okay? It's from the earth.
Organic.
It's organic.
The salads, the protein, soy protein.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
I'm just shaking my head because
You ever smoke a blunt and then eat some box tea? Change your fucking life. Change your fucking life.
No, the only thing I've ever done is had edibles. We have discussed this on air.
Yeah, edibles are fun. But like, so what? Okay, Kat, what are your munchies? When you get munchies, what do you crave?
Well, I like if I'm like home, like if I know that I'm not leaving the house, like cereal.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts, like the chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts, and like a tall ass glass of milk.
It's about that crunch. That's what it is. It's all about that crunch. Yeah.
It's like something with the crunch, like the because I'm not a chips person. Like I'm not really into like sugary. I like sugar, but like I don't like candy.
Right. Yeah. I don't really candy.
Like I'm like I will throw down some like tres leches if I have that around.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm a chip guy. If I have chips in the house, that bag is destroyed. Chips, depending on what hour of the night it is, that bag of shredded cheese in the fucking fridge is getting fucked up.
Oh, come on now. You with the shredded cheese still? Damn, man.
Listen, I tried it. I tried it. And like for like 3 minutes, I was like, it was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Exactly. And then after that, I was like, oh, I'm disgusting.
That's what it is. Like for me, it's the salt. So I like salt and savory when I'm high. Those are like anytime I get the munchies, I gotta get that. So like I actually used to go and get like the pork. What's the Mexican word for the pork rinds? Chicharron, yeah. So like I would go to like the farmer's market near me and like they make it there. So like I would just get the big fuck off bag. And the thing is that stuff's actually it's like the thing about it is it's actually not that bad for you when you like look at like the nutritional facts. Like yes, it's a lot of fat, but like it's not super high in like cholesterol and salt and all that stuff unless you put more salt on it. But yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love that shit. So yeah, like once I'm done, I've had my little sesh real quick. I go out there, fuck up something salty, come back. Yeah.
I'm a sweet person. I just like sweet. Like I was keeping these like blueberry waffles in the house until I realized I could not eat 4 blueberry waffles as often as I was. No, but I shouldn't. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. I just shouldn't.
What if they're protein blueberry waffles?
Well, I tried that, and the protein waffles are not the same. I put some almond butter on them though.
Oh, that's really good.
And that was really good. That was when I was like, damn, that hit it. But like,
no, what hits? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
You're leaning in. You're leaning in like,
yeah. So this the real shit.
We're getting closer.
So you got to get. So if you get like the Eggo waffles, you got to get like the cinnamon ones.
Okay.
And then you go to Trader Joe's and you get the cookie butter.
Oh, you got a big old brain.
Mm-hmm. So then you put the cookie butter. So after you've toasted your waffle, of course, then you do that. Then you put the cookie butter on it. Delicious. Also, if you just have regular waffles at home, right? So what you do is, leave the waffles out for a little bit so that they defrost. Put butter into the frying pan. Take the waffle, slap it down there, let it sizzle for a little bit, flip that bitch over, and then you put cinnamon and sugar on it.
Oh, like a French toast.
There you go.
Have you ever put an egg into that?
You could too. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Okay, whoa. We've already gone off the rails here.
We might
We're
have
not
done,
even 4 minutes into the show.
we might have done did something.
I mean, we learned something because that's the
Cancel
show
today's-
line.
Cancel today's episode. We gotta go.
It's like I need to run to the store.
We need to go get some cookie butter. We'll be right back here on High Marks.
Also, yeah, Trader Joe's is the best thing ever too. Also, so yeah. If you have a Trader Joe's near you, go to it. Food's cheap and it's delicious.
Is it cheaper now? Because growing up, I knew it wasn't that cheap.
Yeah. It's far cheaper than going to like Whole Foods.
Oh, of course, yeah, no.
Yeah, like Whole Foods is cheaper because once Amazon took over, but no, like you can go and get organic eggs for far cheaper than you can if you go to Kroger or Walmart or whatever other store. So yeah, anytime like I go there to get all of my eggs, usually the alcohol there is dumb cheap and very delicious. Yeah, the mangostinis, the peach bellini, and what's the other one? They have a grapefruit one that's delicious, and it's like $5 for a bottle. It's amazing.
Sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a hell of a steal, if I'm being honest here.
Sponsored by Trader Joe's.
You know, anyone from Trader Joe's, and speaking of sponsorships, if anyone wants to sponsor us, feel free to reach out on Twitter.
Oh wow, you can do that.
I'm just DEO. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Arctic Core and DMG 347. We are open to all forms of sponsorship, food, money, or in you guys' case, other things.
Yeah.
No. Just get us the money to get together, and then
Yeah.
when we're together,
Whoever's out there listening and watching, manifest some money for all of us to meet up in one spot so we could do a live show.
And really get Damien high.
Yeah. I feel like he'd fall asleep. I feel like he would just
Probably. Yeah.
Well, no. I'll tell you the edible story. So I was in Iowa about a year and a half ago. So one of our, I don't know if they follow you guys on Twitter, but one of my Twitter followers and friend of all my other shows, Dustin, his wife, and congrats on getting married, Dustin, made us some edibles to take to NXT. So I had never had one before.
Oh.
So she asked me, how big of a piece do you want? Now I have seen Hall Pass. I saw what happened to that one dude doing Dirt Angels in the Sand Trap. No. I know plenty of folks who have eaten too much of a brownie and did not function properly. So I said, all right, what do you suggest is a pretty decent size? Now, we all know
you fucked up when you said pretty decent size.
Yeah.
You should have said, give me something for a beginner.
Up. Okay.
Right.
So here's the rub with that. I didn't feel anything at NXT.
Yep.
I didn't feel anything at the after party. You want to know when I felt that shit?
Later on, bro.
Back in my hotel room when I'm laying in my bed.
Yep.
It kicked in literally 6 hours later.
Bro, that shit'll kick you in the chest too. Like,
yeah, no, like literally, like you're sitting there, you're chilling, you're like good, like everything is normal, everything is fine. Then it's like you know that meme with the skeleton with like the ruby, like the red lights coming out of his eyes.
Yes,
you're like, ah!
And that's what happened. I said, "What is this?" And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, "Oh,
yep.
That's what this is."
Yeah.
Oh,
good God.
Yep.
Whew, it's some shit, bro. Like when it kicks in,
dude.
It kicks in. Like I told y'all my edible story of being in the car and it felt like something pulled me back to reality. Like that shit is like edibles hit different. Like when you smoking, just THC, what it hits you when you inhale it, it's not a ton. You don't really get a lot of THC. But like when you do edibles, like you are getting a heavy dose and it's going into parts of your body that metabolize that stuff.
Yeah.
Like they really break it down. So it disperses through your body everywhere. And yeah, that is like my girlfriend was talking about, like last time she had edibles, she got stuck in one place. and could not leave that place for like 9 hours.
What?
Yeah. Like, no, they gave her like strong dose. Like,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
The last time I ate an edible, I went to NXT in Dade City, and I have no idea like where that was.
Dade City. That's how you.
It was like
Ooh.
Tampa. It was like somewhere on the West Coast. I don't know. Tara
Yeah.
drove on some country road, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm too fucking high to care.
Right.
So like I get there, and it like kicked in like when we got there. So by the time the main event came around, it was Johnny and Bro versus Bobby and Kyle.
Right.
And it's just me, like you guys are doing a great job. I'm like, look at that guy, he's got a big brain. And Kyle's like, me? I'm like, yeah, you got a big brain. He's like, I got the biggest brain in the building. And he did like a kick, and I was like, yeah. And Tara's just like, oh my god.
she is so high right now.
Like,
We had fun.
we need to take her home. Like now.
No, I was good. We had a good time. Kyle was having a good time. I had a good time. Tara's like pissing her
We're all just
pants.
having a good
like,
time.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everybody's having a good time here.
So we went to Cracker Barrel afterwards. Racist Denny's. Racist Denny's for life. I love that hash brown casserole.
Look, that
Look,
chicken and dumplings is delicious. I'm sorry.
It is. And they
Yeah.
actually have some of the best pancakes.
They do.
Their pancakes are
Yeah.
amazing.
I told y'all I didn't eat Cracker Barrel until I moved out to Texas, and then my life was forever changed because now I see why the Young Bucks like to go there all the time.
Waffle House still better.
We've talked about this. Never had it. So
So
if
when
we have this meetup, suit
Waffle
up,
House.
Waffle House, it is.
Yes. Well, we can't just go to Waffle House in the day though. You have to go to Waffle House. It's got to be like at least past 2:30 in the morning, and we have to be shit faced.
Okay.
Yeah, like that is so like especially like
Mania
Mania weekend. Yeah, Mania
This is the Mania
weekend. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be out there shitty drunk, bro. Like, it's like wow.
I'm already looking forward to Mania.
Like one of
Oh,
us is
God.
gonna get arrested. Like,
Let's Topher.
yep. I was just about to say that Topher's getting arrested
Why is Topher getting arrested?
because Topher is Topher.
Okay, fair
He's
enough.
going to have 3 tequila shots, and then it's all over after that.
Good God.
Lightweight.
No, he can hold his own, but it's one of those things where he doesn't have much tolerance when I keep feeding him tequila shots. So it's one of those like, hey, buddy, you thirsty? Here
Let me
you
explain
go.
something to y'all. When we go to, as we call them, the shoe modeling establishments. So being that we've been going there for a while, like they give us triple shots usually.
Oh,
Yeah. So like a lot of times, they're not gonna give you shots in like fucking shot glasses at a strip club. So it's just like a regular plastic cup, and it's like filled like halfway up with tequila. So before that, we usually do about 4 to 6 shots before we go in. And then we probably have the equivalent of like 9 shots on top of that. Yeah.
It hurts like thinking about this. Like I
Oh,
just
yeah.
don't. I
Too
don't
much.
drink like that, dude. Like I can't.
Yeah.
by the way, dude, I just saw that retweet of Sasha Fierce versus Sally Fleeced.
Yep.
Yep. I'm looking at her right now. That is, yes.
And not yes, but yes.
Yes. By the way, you know Cinnamon Toast Crunch got to win this one.
Yep. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Is it Cinnamon Toast Crunch or is it Crunchy Cinnamon Square? It's like that's who she was in that shit. Like, ugh.
Crunchy cinnamon squares.
By the
she
way,
did-
Topher
she
hates
did that.
us.
Yeah. Hey, he knows it's the truth.
Hates us.
He knows.
Does he
it's
hate
the
me? I didn't do anything wrong.
truth.
You're guilty by association, Kat. That's how it is.
It's like
Yeah.
those people that block me, and I'm like, who are you?
So back in the days of Last Mark Standing, I remember I got blocked by a bunch of people because I used to talk to you and your former co-host.
Oh yeah.
Like, dudes did not like the fact that I talked. Like, what? Really? Like, why are y'all so mad? But
Because you putting people in their place.
that was another thing too. Yeah, I know. I
What,
got
you. No
me?
way.
No way. Yeah.
You?
Nah. I said many a thing that pissed off a lot of people. Like, I remember it was like one weekend. I was like, people were tweeting stuff. I was like, why am I blocked? Oh, I know why I'm blocked by that person. Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's switch gears really quick on the High Mark podcast. Kat,
Yes.
you were at the recent tapings. Now, if you don't have to give away spoilers if you don't want to, but were there any moments that stood out for you because you are NXT's resident plant?
Planting it up.
Plant life.
Plant-based. I'm
What?
not plant-based. I have like Philly cheese pizza in the oven. I can't.
Atta girl.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't want to give away spoilers because it's okay. So I guess there was really good match. A really
I mean, the
cool-
spoilers are on the internet. People can really look them up if they
I
really
don't
want to.
want to tell people. I'm giving you vague descriptions of the good things that happened yesterday.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
The only thing that I will tell the people is that Undisputed Era is okay. Therefore, I'm okay, and I don't have to delete my Twitter because I said I would delete my account.
You know they're heading to a breakup, Kat.
Can
It's
you
gonna happen.
not? Stop
Can
it.
you not?
I don't wanna think about it. Anyway, wave that energy away. Whew. Y'all smell something? Sounds like smells like that breakup that you keep talking about. Bye. Anyway, so they're okay. I'm okay.
As long as you're okay.
There's a really cool pseudo feud that I don't know. Oh, there's two really cool feuds that are happening right now. And I guess like I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you. I don't want to ruin it. Okay, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Just fast forward like 30 seconds. I'm trying to ramble off everything real quick.
And go.
Swerve debuted. Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream cut a promo against each other. They're going to be wrestling at a takeover that we don't have the location or date for. Kushida and Gulak were feuding this taping. Ray Monroe and Hanson, I don't care what their new names are. It doesn't matter to me.
No,
It's not real.
They're still right. It's not real.
They relinquished the NXT champion or tag team championships, and there's going to be a 4-way tag match at this takeover that we still don't know the location for because Blood Money fucked it up.
Blood Money.
But Swerve debuted against Trevor Lee, and I was like, "We're having Ebola."
Right? Yes.
Not Ebola.
Not
Ebola.
Ebola.
It's Battle of Los Angeles.
For those who don't know, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's so was he good? Was he good? What was no. I don't care if he was good.
What was the
I know he was
theme?
good. What was the theme music?
It was cool.
Oh.
It's like a slow beat, you know. It's cool. And he's just fucking cool. So like, I think he works whatever he's got.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that match is gonna be televised.
I was thinking it might have been a dark match.
Oh, thank you. You're the best.
You're welcome. But
Yeah.
Oh, Mike brought me pizza.
oh,
Nice. Oh, it's your Philly cheesesteak pizza?
Yeah, I can't eat it though, because I don't want to eat on.
Oh shit! I be on here fucking smacking. Oh,
you can literally just mute your microphone and eat your pizza.
Oh, I don't want to. Okay, I don't. I'm really hungry though.
You got really bright all of a sudden on camera.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this pizza and like a light bulb went off in my
There it
brain.
is.
Yeah, no, it was a good taping. It was weird. Like, I realized that like a lot of the bigger names are all gone now, and now we're trying to like build up all these newer people.
Mhm.
But like all the stuff that you see on the house show loop, it's kind of like they never do it at the taping.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really make any sense. Like we saw a match at that Dade City show, the Dade City show where I was like absolutely smacked. The main event of that show was like our main event yesterday, and I was like, because they practice. I mean, obviously they practice matches,
Right.
which is kind of unfortunate because like sometimes I wish like I miss the organic quality of matches.
Right.
And when they just like do the same thing and it's just like a sequence, it's kind of like not as interesting. But that's developmental. I can't change that. So yeah, I think they got to start putting people on TV, not the same stale people. So
Yeah.
Scale.
Everybody.
Aaliyah.
I'm not getting into it. Never mind. I'm rescinding my My some people are stale comment.
Well, I will not. Aaliyah is stale. There is a great many people on NXT where, and it's not stale because like they're not good in the ring or anything. It's just stale that because like the characters are just like
There's no progress.
there's no progress,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
y'all are stagnant. I guess that's a better word.
Yeah, stagnant's a good word.
Yeah.
So I was watching yesterday's episode. First off, Mansoor, I like him.
Like Mansoor.
He sells like Ziggler in his heyday. Sami Zayn, when Sami Zayn looks like he's like on the brink of death.
Mm-hmm.
So his selling is already amazing. His facial reactions to things is really good. So,
And he actually had some innovative offense.
Oh, that step up?
That step up was beautiful. Like it was, I love it. I liked Donovan Dijak when he was on the Indies.
I don't like this
I
version.
do not like this version.
I think so. The funny thing that we realized, like I was talking to JJ, and we realized that they filmed a whole segment where the Velveteen Dream made up like a national anthem.
The national
deal.
anthem, yes.
Right.
Yeah. And Dijak cut this weird like ethnic cleansing promo, and they
Right.
did not play that at all.
Oh yeah, they did not want that
Okay, so-
smoke.
But like Tyler Breeze I think Tyler Breeze is like a better fit for like the kind of like feud that they were having. But like it's also like what's Dijak gonna do now? Because like that was supposed to be like his thing.
Right. Keith, yeah.
Doing that for like
Revisit
4
the
months.
Keith Lee feud.
Yeah. Which is like we didn't really get a payoff on that. So it was like that would make sense for that to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that just the fact that they even went that route is like whose man's is this? Who thought this would be a good idea?
No, it's like I don't know. Like you're tall and you look European.
Right.
Yeah.
That's he still got you like but he still has his dick appointment shorts on. So it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like the only good thing about him is his shorts.
because it's like it looks if that was on anybody else's build, it wouldn't look as weird. But since he's just like fucking stretched out, it's like, yo, why do you have like you got twerk shorts on? Why do you have twerk shorts on?
He literally looks like a twink at like a drag show.
Oh, Lord.
It's just him out here so close to him, like on the fucking guardrail, and you're like, dude, he's got to get down.
Oh yeah, like I could just see somebody walk past him and he'd be like, "Hey, daddy," and I'm like, "Oh God, no!"
He would say "feast your eyes" too.
I hate that slogan. I hate. Whoa.
Bro, for like 4 years, I thought he was pointing at his nose, and he wasn't.
Because it's like it's.
I thought he was doing this, and I was
Right,
like, "Oh,
that's
he's
what I
doing
thought.
this."
Simon says,
Oh,
"Touch
he's
my
doing-
nose."
Oh, but like this is one of those things where it's like I know wrestlers don't go back to watch themselves. They just do it in like they do it in the moment and they're like, oh yeah, I know that looks cool. But it's like if you watched it back from multiple angles, my G. Not as cool as you thought it looked. Not as cool as you thought it looked. But yeah, like I was so confused. So confused with that.
And I was not overly impressed by Kushida versus Cassius.
I'm tired of people wrestling Cassius. I don't know. Like I understand that he's like player coach and stuff like that, but I don't really get it. Like it's Pat. Like for me, the allure of Chris Hero. So for me, I'll go ahead and put that out there. I've never been a Chris Hero guy. This is before my time, right? I didn't watch him when he was on NXT. I didn't follow him on the indies because I was not watching the indies around the time that he was really big. I didn't even know the indies existed, to be honest. But like, yeah. So when I see him now, like I see people like mark out for him, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like I don't have that personal connection to him. Like it's kind of like how like some people that started watching wrestling after CM Punk left don't really understand why the Shield became as big as it was. So like that's how I am with Chris Hero. It's just like, you know, I know him as Chris Hero and not as Cassius Ohno. I still hate the name Cassius Ohno. But yeah, it's I don't get it. And I've not been impressed with anything that he's done in not just WWE, but anywhere that I've seen him over the past few years. It's just like, okay, I get the gimmick that you're going for, but for me, it's not believable, especially when I'm looking at it from the realism sense that I come with because I was watching mixed martial arts. That was the majority of my combat sport intake for like the past decade. Okay. So in seeing like, oh, he's like one of the best strikers, and I'm just like, I mean, I know y'all don't know what striking actually looks like, but that ain't it.
Some people don't. So can you explain actually why we got you here for that, since you are an MMA, you were a moderator at one point, and you just actually recorded a podcast for someone else talking MMA. So can you please break down an actual strike in MMA? And I don't mean just real versus not. Just the throw, the movement, the throwing of the punch, the strike itself.
Yeah. So like what we see in pro wrestling is what you call arm punches. There's no, like, if I'm standing here and I just go like this, there's no power to it. There's really not much power to it. You're not going to knock anybody out unless you are insanely strong.
Right.
When you actually punch, so like there's the mechanics of it. The power doesn't come from your arms. That's like everybody tends to think when you're just swinging stuff wildly. No, the power comes from the ground. So your legs, especially your ass, that's where the power comes when you hit people. So like when Nia Jax hauled off and socked Becky in the mouth, that was a whole power strike when it happened. That's why her face shattered the way that it did. But like when you see these punches that people throw, especially like because there's the theatrical effect of, you know, when they stomp their foot to make the impact seem more than what it is, like that's all pro wrestling type stuff. But like just the nature of combat outside of the pro wrestling sense is chaotic and very frenetic. And when you look in, you know, any type of pro wrestling at all, everything is, so it's movement, then movement, movement, then movement. It's a back and forth dance. And it's one person does one thing, then the next person does the other thing. And whether you're watching kickboxing, mixed martial arts, boxing, taekwondo, whatever, everything's very frenetic. There's constant movement. There's no, you know, there might be lulls in action, but a lot of times things will happen simultaneously. You know, when people are grappling with each other, instead of it being a move that then gets countered to a move, everything happens all at one time. Somebody goes for a throw and immediately they get sent flying because somebody countered it. Or you'll see somebody throw a punch and then somebody will also throw a punch at the same time. They might connect at the same time. They might both get KO'd. It's just one of those things where it's like in WWE or any pro wrestling at all, a lot of people have become so accustomed to that formula of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that they have lost sense of what actual striking looks like. They might not have known, like a lot of people that only ingest pro wrestling, they have no clue how this stuff worked. So then like for instance, when Brock Lesnar goes back to the UFC, which he no longer is because he retired from mixed martial arts, probably because he popped for PEDs. This is allegedly, but this is you know, that's what I'm thinking happened. But when people saw him in the UFC that had never seen him fight before were confused. Like all throughout the timeline when that happened, they were just like, why doesn't he just do such and such? Like they think that you can just grab someone and F5 them. It's like, no, like you go down like that to try to lift somebody up on your shoulders, you're going to get choked out. Or if you're a wrestler and you dive in like that, somebody's going to catch you with a knee and you are going to the land of wind and ghost immediately. But yeah, like it's just one of those things. Like it's just the nature of the two different things. They are both combat sports entertainment, but one is scripted, one is not. And it's hard to script people doing things simultaneously. It's just hard because so many things can go wrong when you do that. So that's what a lot of that is. And like when you have people go over and watch, you know, whether it be Matt Riddle or whomever that has come over, and like you see how it is. Like watch Nakamura's matches when he was in fighting in MMA. Like it's nothing like what you see here because, like I said, it's a frenetic thing. It is a constant moving thing. And when you don't have, you know, when you have no knowledge of what that looks like, you thinking that, you know, you're going to end up thinking that The Undertaker is the best pure striker on earth.
You mean that's not true?
No, it's not true. And that the Hell's Gate is one of the worst grappling adaptations I've ever seen in my life. It's fucking terrible.
So which is worse, Shane McMahon's punches or the Hell's Gate submission?
Shane's punches.
Yeah.
Shane's punches. Like it's not even close. Like the thing is, and what maddens me the most about this is the fact that he is trained by Phil Crew Nurse, Crew, that's a title that you get when you in Muay Thai, which is a form of kickboxing.
Yeah.
And he is legitimately one of the best striking coaches that you can go to. And Shane still can't throw a punch properly. Like it's
shameful.
It is absolutely shameful. Like and the other day when he like mounted the Miz and was like doing these, I was like, what is this? Like you came up here punching like a 3-year-old. What the fuck is this? Like it's so bad. It's so bad.
Right. Vince wrote John Cena that long ass happy birthday message.
Exactly.
Happy birthday at Shane McMahon.
It's so...
At least John can throw a punch, kind of.
That's the son that Vince always wanted.
I can't. Whenever I see him throw a punch, just depresses me. My former co-host used to say they were slippy slap punches, and they make sense now when she says that. Like that makes a lot of sense. So, Kat, I want to double back to you really quick here on the High Mark podcast. NXT, you said it was worth the watch. So the next tapings, should we be hopeful or less hopeful that a new star can develop from these tapings?
I mean, I feel like Kushida's already been elevated to that level. And right now, this taping was kind of like primarily focused on the absolute mess that is our tag team division.
Yes.
And I feel, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it before we get there because like it's like the whole longer conversation about how I feel about like the state of the tag division right now.
Okay.
Just coming out of this taping, how I feel about it. But hold on, are you okay? Okay. Sorry. The door opened and he just was like staring at me. I was like, hello. No, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it before we get there, but we're building up to this takeover thing that we don't know.
Whenever it happens.
June 1st.
It is June. Yeah, I think it is June 1st. Yes.
I think it's Connecticut, but I don't know for sure.
Ooh, Connecticut.
Oh, that means Vince might be there.
Well, my thing is like, why would you do it in Connecticut? Because like, if you have like a month to try to sell tickets to an entire takeover, you'd think you would do it at Full Sail because you know it'll sell out. Full Sail sells out 30 seconds. Like,
yep,
right.
But I think they just want to try to go for the biggest venue possible for it, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I know. So we had this month, and then in June we have 2 tapings in the middle of June.
Mm-hmm.
Like back to back, like it's like 1 day, 2 days. So I don't know. I don't know.
We shall.
We're just going.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
Has anything else in the world of wrestling happened this week that would interest anybody who hasn't tuned in?
Outside of Leo Rush stuff, I don't know.
So for those that don't know, what is the Leo Rush stuff deal?
There's a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Basically, like it all kinds of sounds like him being too big for his britches, if I'm going to use a phrase. Having too much dip on your chip is another one. So to start from the beginning, he has had heat since basically when he first came to the WWE umbrella. And that started with the Emma tweet that he had like right after she got let go. And it was like, yo, that was in bad taste, fast forward, like the thing that people were talking about was like the fact that or the rumored stuff was that he wants to have his wife with him at all times. So not just travel with him, but be in on like when they're doing practice runs, when they're doing like meetings and stuff like that. He wants her to be there at all times, which is for me, like when I heard it was like, this seems like it's either like I could understand like, oh yeah, if she doesn't want to be one of those people that gets cheated on the road, or he doesn't want to get cheated on while he's on the road. But even then, that's like some weird kind of control-ish type stuff, if that is the case, because all of this is allegedly, of course. So there was one thing. Then the next thing was he didn't want to do some of the grunt work that is, that new wrestlers are supposed to do. And like anytime you get into any sort of like system like that, there's always some sort of like grunt work that you have to do to earn your way up the ladder. And like simple stuff like carrying water bottles or helping people with like their luggage or some stuff like that, or helping out the crew set up the ring and stuff like that. That's expected. Like that's just a rite of passage that you have to have.
Yeah.
And like, so you have that, and then like, then they said there was heat because like Finn Balor pulled him aside. Was like, yo, you should probably watch how you move, because that's not, what you're doing now is going to create more waves for you and it's going to make it harder. And like his reasoning for not wanting to carry water bottles was basically he's like, as a black man, he doesn't want young black men to see him carrying water bottles for people. And I was like, nigga, what? Like, it was my immediate reaction was like, like that's I don't get it.
Let me play devil's advocate for 2 seconds here.
Uh-huh.
Is there a possibility that him saying that, and I'm going to go here, and I normally am not the one to go here, that he doesn't want the image of him carrying water bottles for white men?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so can we at least say that is something that would at least cross most of our minds, but it crossed his mind?
Yeah, like some folks I absolutely could see like how it would cross some folks' minds, but it's like if everybody's got to do it, literally everybody's got to do it, man, woman, child, animal, mineral, whatever.
Mineral.
Like if everybody that comes through has to do the same thing, Braun Strowman probably had to do the same thing. Finn Balor probably had to do the same thing. Bayley.
He could probably carry like 5 water bottles. I'm just thinking about Braun Strowman with like 5 water bottles, like double fisted in his hands.
I can carry 3. So like,
yeah, 1, 2, and then in the fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
But like him, Braun could probably like palm like a whole 12-pack. Just grab it and just lift it up. Right. But like, so you had that, and then like, then moving from there, then like, complaining that his travel's not being paid for, which is like, there's an overarching issue there with that. So his travel's not being paid for, which he's paying for his wife to travel with him. So his travel fees are almost double. Then, they're not paying for the travel stuff. Then he was complaining that he had to go to like these signings and stuff like that, and he's not getting paid for them. He's not getting paid for the travel for it. It's like, bro, you signed up for this. This stuff is guaranteed that this stuff's in the contract that they don't pay for this stuff. I could guarantee that a company as litigious as the WWE, and I will continuously bring that word up when it comes to the WWE, they will always cover themselves in their contracts.
Yeah.
Because they know what this is going to be. But like with, him complaining about that, then him not getting royalties on Bobby Lashley's shirt because the Lashley chant that he started is on the back of the shirt. It's like, dude, that's Bobby Lashley's shirt. That's not your shirt. And in your contract, had you had somebody go over this with you,
That's
know.
why he wants his wife with him now, because he's like, fuck.
Right. That's why I would not be surprised if that's it. Yeah. Because it's like these are all things that are in contracts. And like folks are we're trying to say what's happening with Sasha is the same thing that's happening with him. No,
it's two totally different things.
It's two totally different things. Like one, Sasha had been in the system. How long has Sasha Banks been under the WWE umbrella? Because it's been years. Let's see. She's been with the WWE since 2012.
Okay.
So
yeah, since 2012. Right.
Yeah. So 7 years. She has absolutely proven she's carried the water bottles. She's carried feuds. She's carried titles. She is a merch machine.
Yeah.
She knows her worth because she has proven her worth.
Right.
Leo Rush has been there for like a cup of tea, as they would say. He is not, or a cup of coffee. He has not been around long enough to be demanding this stuff. And like the rumor is that they offered him $300K. Don't know whether it's $300K a year or $300K stretched out over a 5-year period, which, if it's over a 5-year period, then that's
$60,000 a year.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not great, by any means, especially if you're paying for it out of your own pocket. But like he's asking for double that is what they're alleging. And like, I'm sorry, I don't know if you like, if it is $300 a year, you definitely don't deserve.
You take that.
You take that. Like you are still new to this system. Like, say whatever you want about Vince McMahon and all that type of stuff, but like a lot of these issues that people keep on having are just issues because people, one, aren't reading contracts, and two, not having people go over contracts with them to explain what stuff costs, to explain what's going to happen. Do you have any recourse if there's something that you do not like happening to you? And like, this is what's going to happen here. This is what's going to happen in AEW. This is what's happened in Lucha Underground. Like, you're always going to have contractual issues. And like, and the thing I always say, if you signed a contract and then something happens that you don't like, you can't then just be like, you know what?
I'm out of here.
I don't like this.
They can deny your request for release. Like, they can hold you captive, like fucking they did the Pac for how long?
Exactly. Like they can do that. And
a full year, pretty much.
A full year, yeah. And they can do that. They can sit on that type of stuff. You are an expendable resource. No matter how big you are as a seller, you are still an expendable resource. There's always somebody that can replace you.
Yep.
Always somebody that can replace you. And people that will
sucks.
Right. That's like, there's always somebody that is going to be willing to replace you for less money all the time, every single time. So like with that, it's just like, ooh, this is, y'all got to start before you sign contracts. And this just isn't just for pro wrestlers, but if you are an independent contractor, make sure you read everything all the way through. Same thing that happens with your electronics. I know that it's like 250 pages of legal jargon, but before you sign that stuff, Google first, and a lot of sites will have the information that you need to know summarized, right? But like, when you sign these contracts, it's a binding contract. You can't then be like, I don't like that. Like, unless there's something that they're breaking laws, or there's like a constitutional issue, you really don't have any recourse for a lot of this stuff, people.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it is what it is.
So, Kat, you were saying about, you have your own take on the fact that it's not the same as Sasha. Do you feel similar to Dio?
To an extent, yeah. Like, I feel like I both understand where he's coming from, and also know like he's probably not going about it the right way, because like, this is a person who's like historically doesn't go about things the right way.
That's the other thing.
He does things his way. Right.
His reputation has preceded him. So.
For sure. So it's sorry. That was so rude. Wow.
For those of you that aren't watching,
Yes.
the cat just walks straight past. Cat. So it's just like,
He was like, I see you're working. It would be a shame if someone were to disrupt your concentration.
right.
Yeah,
Let me
fucking
do that for
asshole.
you.
That guy's a fucking dickhead. That's the one that steps on me when it's like 3:00 in the morning and he's like, I'm hungry. Anyway. But I also agree where it's like it's not the same as the young boy system. Like it's like a different culture because I think like we have like that preconception of like wrestling. The wrestling business historically is like fucking racist, and that is what it is. Like, so it's kind of like, at what point, when do we move away from this like tenured program where it's like, I'm not going to respect you because I've been doing this for like 2 years longer than you have, and I've got a locker and my stuff goes there, and you get to carry my water. Like that's, I don't know. Like I think it's like, when does wrestling become, instead of a tenure based like business, when does it become like I can just respect you as a coworker?
Right.
Because like I've never understood that. Like I guess maybe I'm not like I've been told before that I'm not mean enough for wrestling. Because
Interesting.
I think that a lot of it's bullshit because it doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of it is absolutely bullshit. Yeah.
It's like a weird subservience thing, and like I don't think that's cool. Like, so I get where, like, I understand like where he's coming from in that regard, where it's kind of like, yeah, but why? You don't respect me, so like I don't like it.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
Yeah. Like, so for me, like when I think of it, like, so how I'm looking at it, so like I'm an independent contractor as well.
Right.
Like when I got on with the company that I work with most of the time, I started at the bottom of the totem pole. I had to do the shitty jobs. I had to do the jobs where I was only going to get paid the bare minimum. Like the jobs are only gonna be like an hour a piece, maybe 2 hours, and I'd have to do a bunch of those and then show that I was, worthy of them trusting me to do like bigger jobs. And like that's kind of how I've been looking at it, because like it's, for me, like it's more so can I trust this person to do stuff? And like just doing like menial tasks and stuff like that, a lot of times that is it's more so just to prove that than it is that, oh man, I'm trying to keep him under my heel, which like there are absolutely wrestlers that do that shit. Absolutely. Like we have heard many a story about that. And I know me, I couldn't survive under that. I would have got fired. So, but yeah, like that's how I've been looking at it, is like how as an independent contractor, you do have to start at the bottom of the rung and then you work your way up, to not just getting trust or the people to respect you, but also to have like people's trust that you are going to be reliable to do certain stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been looking at it.
I feel like for me, who was it? I was talking last night to someone and they told me about it, and immediately about the water bottle thing. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had that look like, what year are we in that we gotta carry water bottles for people now?
Yeah.
Right.
But I got the tradition of doing it.
Right.
But to Kat's point, there's got to be a different way to do something that may not seem as demeaning to someone else, because everybody's different. Deal, you wouldn't have a problem doing it. Me, depending on how they asked and if they were jerks about it, would determine whether or not I punch somebody in the throat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it depends. It all depends on how it's being said. Like if it's a bunch of dudes, if a dude just straight up comes in there and is like, yo, carry my shit, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
That's immediate. But like it was like with him, like you said, it all depends on how it's said. But if it wasn't for, like if it's somebody just like, hey, can you do X, Y, or Z for me? Cool. I wouldn't have an issue. But if it's somebody that comes up to me and demands to me, is like, yeah, boy, you need to pick up my stuff. I was like, yo, picking up your teeth real quick. But
let someone call me boy, first off.
Oh, first off, yeah, that's beyond a red flag. Yeah. But yeah.
So all in all, I was gonna say Dio Rush. Let's not combine you two and make one person.
Dio Rush.
That should be your nickname though. Dio Rush does sound. Then Lio Rush, but he is 24 years old.
Right.
He, as you said, had a cup of coffee going on right now with WWE. He is a married man with 2 kids.
Right.
I get that he believes in himself.
Right.
But this ain't about you, just you, homie. Like, there's other people involved in your existence.
Right.
So, let's talk about the Stockholmian syndrome of him having his wife around with him all the time. Now, in sports, they've covered this where baseball players especially, they've wanted to bring their kids with them in the clubhouse.
Right.
Now, baseball clubhouse is usually not the place for a little kid.
Right.
But I remember someone a couple of years ago who used to play for, I think it was Adam LaRoche, used to play for the Chicago White Sox. His son was homeschooled. So he wanted to take his son with him on the road.
Right.
The team was like, hell no. He's 12. Why are you going to bring a 12-year-old in a major league clubhouse?
Right.
In this case, the fact that Lio potentially wants to bring his wife into writers' meetings and, like you said, going over the plan for the match, what kind of weird control game is that? Just from a psychological perspective, if that's the case, we could talk about that all day. But just from a cover perspective, that doesn't look right.
Right, yeah. The optics on it are weird. Like, of course, we don't know the full situation, of course, so this is all allegedly type of stuff. But like, it very much has like, it smacks of stuff that just kind of, it feels weird. Yeah,
it feels a little weird. Yes.
Yeah. So, but like, yeah, and because folks were saying, oh, he knows his worth. It's like, there is knowing your worth if you have like proven yourself, but he's so what people do on the indies and what people do in the WWE are 2 completely different things, right? When you come into the WWE, you are an unknown quantity. You have to prove that you can do whatever it is that you can do. Like, there are certain people that are out on the indies now who have reputations of showing up to shows drunk and so on and so forth. They could never survive inside of the WWE or a bunch of other locker rooms, probably. But like, when you come into the system, you are an unknown quantity. You have to prove that you have to prove that you have worth. And it's like, you can't just, oh yeah, I know my worth. No, you have to show your worth when it comes to this. You have to connect with the crowd. There's a lot of stuff that you need to do before you can start demanding stuff. Like, you can't just jump in. You can't just start at a job and then start demanding stuff before your 90 days is over, right? Like, you haven't even gotten your vacation days yet. And you're already saying that the boss needs to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, I understand wanting to buck the system and get outside of like old archaic stuff. But like, if you're being unreasonable on things, and
give and take.
Yeah.
Well, I want to switch gears really quick because something that you guys talked about off air that I didn't really wrap my mind around. And for those who are just tuning in, we have rebranded the show from Podcast Champs to the High Mark Podcast, where you get buff and you learn stuff. Usually the learning stuff happens when my silly self tends to not know things that both Dio and Kat know. Some examples have included Diva cups, types of weed, to put on food.
Yeah.
So now there was a conversation before we got on air about one Taylor Swift and her impersonation or straight ripoff of Beyonce.
Yes, the queen of long backs.
We're calling it Magachella.
Magachella. Even though she is a Democrat, which a lot of people came out the work like, she is not, like, shut up. Shut up. Just take the joke, goddammit. But
did you see the marching bland? I was at work like, wow. Undefeated. Yeah. Black people are undefeated.
Basically. So what exactly? Can you give like a quick breakdown of what that was about?
Who you want, me or Kat? Which one?
Either one of y'all two.
Kat, you can start off.
Okay, so a year ago, the most magical event of all time happened. New name alert, Baychella.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
Beyonce, new name alert. So- that it was like 10 minutes into the thing, and he already renamed the concert. So Beyonce performed at Coachella. She was the first Black woman to main event at Coachella, which is like kind of ridiculous, but go off, I guess.
Yep.
So she was the first Black woman to do this. It was fucking lit. There was bops, there was bangers. There's a documentary on Netflix. Watch it. She's an inspiration. I love God because God is Beyonce.
Yep.
And
Okay.
yes,
Beyonce is, yeah.
I think she said, I'm gonna be that bitch, and they were like, whatever, Beyonce. And then I just like that bitch and a rainbow above my head. Just that bitch. So I guess Taylor Swift for some, what was it, the Billboard Music
Billboard
Awards or
Music
something?
Awards, I think. Yeah.
Decided to do a essentially rip-off, equate version of Beyonce's Coachella performance.
Yep. The Equate version, Sam's Choice, like,
Sam's Choice.
all of the store brand stuff.
Yeah. So like for context, like Baychella was themed around historically Black colleges. In the documentary, it's really interesting because she talks about like all the performers from these colleges that she like did auditions for, and like they had like a village of like 100+ people that were all performers creatively like interacting to make this performance happen. So it's like from an artist standpoint really cool, and just to see like what they did with like their resources was really cool. So the thing that's the most annoying about Taylor Swift ripping off the performance is that she was literally like, I don't think that even if like, okay, let's say Taylor Swift is like, I liked that their Baychella thing, I want to do something like that. She did not understand the context culturally. There's no way she understood the cultural context for it,
right,
to understand like why people would be mad about it.
Right. And like the people that are like defending her, because like, so one of the things that people said was like, oh, well, Taylor Swift did a performance with marching bands back in the day. Yeah, these are two different things. So you have marching bands and then you have HBCU marching bands. Mm-hmm. Very different. Like you can, even when I was in high school, the schools that were predominantly white and the schools that were predominantly Black, the way in which the bands played, two different things. Like there's movements, like most marching bands that are from like predominantly white schools, it's very uniform. It's very, you stick to the routine. It's very like, I don't want to say bland, but it's very straightforward, right? Like when you go to HBCU, like there are whole events built around this shit. Like the Battle of the Bands is a thing. And like, where you have like bands from HBCUs come through and like they will play like essentially just instrumental versions of like popular songs and like super classic songs. So like for instance, like if you're a smart person, if you have any sort of taste, you are currently bumping the hell out of Beyonce's Homecoming Live album because she has an amazing rendition of Before. It's so good. It's just so good.
Yes.
But like it's the way that they play. It's just there's an energy. There's an energy like to it.
Tangible energy. Yeah.
Exactly right. So like, and I've seen like when you like whenever you have like white people to go to like the HBCU games, they're just like they're not used to that. So like you might have marching bands where like they'll do formations and stuff like that. But no, there is dancing. There is all types of, theatrics that go into it. So it's very different. And like there is a serious cultural aspect to it that just people that are not from that culture just are not going to get. So like what she did in bringing the marching bands that were dancing and all this stuff, and it was just like, oh, this is very much cultural appropriation. Like this is you. There's like you took everything and you removed the seasoning from it, and you just sprinkled like glitter all over it. So it was just, I don't know, it was not
Very Lacey Evans of them.
I wouldn't even say Lacey Evans. Like this was.
I think Lacey Evans might have more respect for historically black colleges and
probably like this very much felt like. So this was like, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's ever been like where they did like a black person had a gimmick and then a white person took it. No.
Oh wow.
I don't think they've ever done that before. But like this was very much like. This was like
it was like Thugonomics John Cena. Like if you look back on Thugonomics,
there you go. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what
that is a great comparison.
Yes.
Even though I love Thugonomics, John
I love him too.
He had bars. Like he actually had a good rap album. Like no two ways about it. John Cena actually had a really good rap album. He had Murs on the album, like who is like an underground legend. Like John Cena, whenever he does anything, he does it really well. So I'll give him that. But like, yeah, it felt like, all right, there's a lot more going on here than what Taylor Swift understands. So it was like, and then seeing the people that are like, that will rush to her aid immediately. It's just like, you're not listening to anything of what we're saying. Like, we are telling you why this is an issue. And every time we tell you that this is why this is an issue, you just brush it off.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about off air, about stan Twitter in general and the standing behavior. And I feel that you and I, Dio, especially before Kat came on, we would talk about this every single week almost, about how stands of certain wrestlers or performers take the blinders off and will literally die on the sword.
For no reason.
Whomever their faves are for no reason.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is a similar case.
Oh, it's absolutely that. Like they showed up in droves to anybody that had a tweet that, did any type of numbers on it. They showed up in full force in the replies and then the quote tweets about stuff. And it was just like, yo, y'all got to chill out. Y'all got to chill out. Like this isn't one. So it's a younger crowd. So this is usually this, the middle and high school kids that are jumping into this, the young adults. And it's like, they are the first generation that has had the internet and social media basically their entire lives. So that is their life, right? With us, we're like, this is okay. You're saying stuff and like, I really don't care that you're, telling me that Taylor Swift snatched my wig. I don't care. It's what these words that are coming out of your mouth have no substance or meaning to them. Like,
your wig's been snatched. You're bald. You're snatched. Bald.
You are bald.
Period.
You have no hair. It is snatched.
Period.
Like, right. And I'm like, no, like I'm bald because male pattern baldness and I shave. Like that's why I'm bald. Not because anybody snatched the wig off of my head. It's like, like I was like, damn, I'm very much feeling like to get off my damn lawn right now.
I always wanted before my hair started growing back and I was still wearing wigs. Like I was like, I wanted to go to a wrestling show and I wanted something. Yeah, I wanted something wild enough to happen that I could justify ripping my wig right off. Like
that would be fantastic. Actually.
I want to go to one NXT where something like fucking like. I want someone to cut the most scathing promo I've ever heard in my life. Fucking.
Just take your own wig off.
You will become the meme of all memes. You will be the meme queen of NXT when that happens. Like that'd be it. Like
it was so good. I haven't had a reason to yet.
Hey, when Kyle wins the title.
Oh, That's my reason. I would legitimately. I'm gonna wear a wig if I ever find out he's having a child. I'm gonna fucking wear a wig just so I can like, woo, and throw that shit into the bleacher.
Oh jeez.
Somebody catches it. They're like, ah.
It'd be amazing. It would be.
No,
Kyle
would be
catches
worth
it, puts it on.
There you go. And
You know what? There it is.
And so, like,
Air guitars with the wig.
I need Kyle, Bugenhagen, and Bro to have an air guitar off. This is something that I need to see. I don't want to see them wrestle. I just need them to have an air guitar off. That's it. That's it.
God.
And it has to be on a takeover. Like that's what has to be on a takeover. That's what it is.
Really? Just in the middle of a takeover?
In the middle of a takeover. Like
That's the intermission.
that's the intermission. That's the rest match, right? Like that's the match where everybody can kind of calm down before the main event. Like there it is.
People would pop way too hard for it.
But it's not. We're not going to have the same energy that we would after like a Gargano takeover match. Like I'm always exhausted after those. Like especially like the tag matches. The tag matches, I'm always like completely exhausted. Like only other time I've been that exhausted after watching anything was episode 3 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I was stressed. I was fucking stressed. But yeah.
You want to know stressed really quick? I'll tell you something that's stressing me out right now as we're talking about it. Sonic the fucking Hedgehog.
Teeth, and fur, and weird proportions.
Why is he
For those
so,
that
like...
don't know, for those who don't know, the Hedgehog, the Sega Genesis or the Sega Mega Drive mascot,
Sega,
known as the fastest thing alive.
Yeah.
2 cartoons based on him. One Saturday Morning and one regular Archie-style comics by Jaleel White, mind you.
Yeah.
People is making or is starring in his own live action movie with
that guy. He's been in a bunch of shit. I don't care what his name is.
No. My head is just shaking. Marsden. Yeah.
Yeah. He is the forgettable of the leading white guys. He is yeah.
And then Jim Carrey as Dr. Ivan Robotnik.
It's like we got a glimpse. We did get a glimpse of what he could look like if they kept it true to the form, like at the end of the trailer. Like you see that, and it's like, oh, I'm guessing that is an alternate, another planet that he's from, or another reality, is what I'm guessing. But like, it's just weird.
I'm gonna send you this really good redesign. I don't know if this is this.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
I saw it on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
So good.
Because it was like and the thing is like, and this is what happens with studios every single time when they try to do video game adaptations. They basically throw away the source material, and it's like, if you're gonna make it live action, just take the character as it is in the game and bring it like that. You don't have to adapt shit. It's a fucking hedgehog that runs faster than speed of sound. You don't have to change the design. We go into that shit ready for the bullshit. We already know. We have thrown reality out the window, like just like when we go to Endgame and stuff like that. There are certain things that I'm just going to accept. It's a superhero flick, or if it's a video game. But like when it comes to video game stuff, there's just such a terrible track record of them throwing the source material, the source characters, all that stuff out the window. Like Resident Evil, terrible. In my opinion, the only movie that stayed true to form to the video games was Mortal Kombat. The first Mortal Kombat.
The first one. The second one was trash.
Second one was hot basura. But like it stuck to it. There's a tournament, people fight, people die. That's it. No special shit, no turning characters into characters that they aren't. Like every single Street Fighter movie that they've tried to do, terrible. The King of Fighters movie,
terrible.
You know what's
terrible
about those? Is like there's always like one person that's really good in the movie, and you're like M. Bison. So good.
Like
So good.
it was
And Jim Carrey is going to be the M. Bison in this movie. Like,
absolutely. Like,
By the way, off topic really quick. You mentioned good actors, in that genre. Remember the Chun-Li movie?
yeah, that was terrible. That was one of that
Kristen
was
Crook?
yeah, which facially speaking, I understood the casting. Everything else, no. Like it, so yeah, like he will absolutely be the Raul Julia of the movie. But like it's yeah, the Kristen Crook one was terrible. The like the Street Fighter movie that we got, like there were some great stuff that happened in it, but it's like
get it, stop it, Clem.
Is the cat? Okay.
Yep, Clem's back.
Sorry. Yeah, Clem time's
Clem
back on
time.
the bullshit.
Clem time.
Clem.
But yeah, like you like you always have like really great stuff, but like that there was nothing good about that movie. Right? Like it's and the thing is it's 2019. There is absolutely a rabid fan base that would throw money at these things if they actually marketed them well. Like they take the time to adapt superhero stuff, but for some reason when it comes to video games, they're like, this game shit's not good. Like when you have games that have these like super thorough, like detailed stories, and sometimes you have multiple games where it's just like you have all of this great material. Why are you deviating from it?
Did that Witcher show ever happen, or did they?
Oh no, it's still in production.
Okay, cool. Because that looks good.
And I trust Netflix, so like they really haven't had too many misfires on stuff. The anime adaptations that they've had, so like the Bleach adaptation, I actually enjoyed that.
No, the
Full Metal one.
The Death Note one was like
trash.
Cheeks. The only good thing about that movie was like the way that they designed Ryuk, and that was good. That was really good.
That was really.
But everything else was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was like you can't like some stuff like some anime you just can't. If it takes place in Japan, you can't then just uproot it and put it in America. Two different cultures. A lot of the themes that are in it just do not exist here, so you can't do that. Yeah. But like all the other stuff, like it would be like, okay, you just played Red Dead Redemption, right? And then you go put it on TV and they throw away this amazing story that they told in the video game and completely rewrite it to something that makes no sense. It's like just follow what it is. Like you have all this
it's like I hope that they never make like a Gears of War like adaptation, because I was a huge Gears of War fan. I feel like if I probably picked up a Gears of War now, I'd probably still be as big of a fan. But like that first 3 games, like I cried. I cried at a video game where I also maniacally laughed, like chase people around with chainsaws. Like that could never be translated into a movie.
Right, yeah. But and the thing is like it's 2019. You have the technology to do all of these things. So like take Street Fighter for instance. They had there's a fan-made series that is amazing. Like a 2-part series, I think it is. And like it was really well done. And that was with like a small budget. But for some reason, once it goes to like these large studios, or if it goes to worse, if it goes to Uwe Boll, it's just like that is trash. But like, yeah, it's just I just wish that they would just like treat the video game stuff with the same respect that they treat the superhero stuff. Because like if you did a Street Fighter movie and you just followed the story with all the technology and CGI that we have, you could make the fireballs and all the other fuckery of Dhalsim stretching across the screen. It would look good and make sense.
Those E Honda palm strikes.
My God. Edmund Honda's that guy. I love him. He's great. He's got like because he's just got like the one gigantic ab.
Yeah,
he's got
I
the
respect
one ab.
that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, like it was great. And if you want to watch a very good Street Fighter movie, track down the Street Fighter Alpha movie. That animated film is fire.
Yeah.
Okay, not the Generations film. You mean the Alpha film?
Let me make sure. Not the. I enjoyed Generations actually, but Street Fighter Alpha, the movie. Let me make sure. What I'm thinking of. Yeah,
I
Street
think-
Fighter
yeah.
Alpha the movie. Yeah,
Okay.
Alpha, like that was. It's dope. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was, yeah. It added something to the story that we didn't think about prior to it, and it was like, oh, this is good. They could have just turned that into a movie. Would have been perfect. A live action, been great. You know, get Terry Crews to play Birdie. It'd be like,
Oh God.
Oh my god.
oh yeah. I got fan casting in my head already. So yeah.
Okay, so before we get out of here, give me your quick fan casting for a Street Fighter live action movie.
Yeah.
For a Street Fighter live action movie. So the guy that actually, what's his name? That was in the that played M. Bison in the Kristen Krug one.
Dave McDonough.
Yeah, if you actually just dressed him up in the M. Bison costume and actually had him, he would be perfect because he looked the part. If you look at
He did.
M. Bison and then you look at him, it was like, so when I first saw that casting, I was like, they might have done did something. And then what
Fucked it up. Yeah.
are y'all doing here? Like there's a whole bunch of different people, like, but of course, if they get anybody, they need to, of course, have a Japanese man playing Ryu, or at least somebody Asian. Like
That'd be nice.
that'd be nice. Like I would actually pick a bunch of unknowns if I was being truthful. Like if this was like the 90s, that's a different story. I'd have Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt would play Ken.
No, he's got to be Guile.
Nah, Guile's got to be like. I would actually have like Dolph Lundgren playing. Like,
That's who I was thinking. Have Dolph Lundgren
if it
play
was like
Guile.
the 90s, absolutely, I'd have Dolph Lundgren playing that.
Would you have Michael Jai White play Balrog?
I'd actually just straight up have Mike Tyson play.
Tyson? Yeah.
I just have Tyson play Balrog. He's already played boxers in a bunch of different movies, so yeah, I would actually.
Oh, how good was he in Ip Man?
He was actually. Mike Tyson is easily one of the most talented people on earth. It's one of the craziest things. He has a incredibly checkered past. Will never, like, when folks are like, "Oh yeah, he's a trash." Yeah, he was a trash human being for a very long time. He was a what's the phrase that people use? A product of his environment.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like he was actually really good in Ip Man and like wildly intelligent, knows a shit ton about pro wrestling and like just fighting as a whole. Like, yeah, he's one of my.
Did you ever
favorites.
watch Mike Tyson's Mysteries?
I have.
I do.
It's so
yes.
fucking good.
It's good. It's like it's so much better than it has any right to be.
No, it is. It's like I want them to do like a Hanna-Barbera like universe, and that
Yeah.
has to be part of it. Like confirm Mike Tyson's Mysteries is part of it.
It's part of it. Yeah, that's it. Like, oh yeah, when I was
Him
like,
and Jabberjaw. Can you imagine Mike Tyson punching Jabberjaw?
my God, we are creating crossovers right now that are just like, my goodness.
People aren't ready for that.
No.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, I will go in there and I will have a good session out in the car before I go in that bitch. Like, whew,
Oh, for sure. For
I will
fucking
go in
sure.
there smelling like the Loud. Like, it'd be amazing. But yeah, no, like I would pick a bunch if it was in this day and age. I would likely pick a bunch of unknowns, or I would actually go into like pro wrestling and find people there. If I were to pick Guile today, it'd be John Cena.
Oh my God, that's too perfect. of a
It's too perfect.
Dude.
Like he's already used to wearing like a fucked up hairpiece, so like it would work perfectly. Look, that's a lace front. That's a lace front. He's got the same lace front that Chris Evans is wearing in Endgame. Don't act like you don't know.
Well, Kat hasn't seen Endgame yet, so let's not spoil that.
don't
It's the
spoil it.
same. It's the same lace front that he had in Infinity Wars too. So
Oh my god.
and in the films before that, Chris Evans' hair.
Oh my
Good.
God.
Get out of here.
Nobody can tell him anything because he's Chris Evans and that ass. Butt jail.
Oh yeah,
Butt jail of the week is Chris Evans.
Oh,
So
so
in the movie, he's going to butt jail.
When you see the movie, he's definitely going to butt jail. Absolutely.
Seriously,
I've
Kat,
seen the
there's a scene
photos.
specifically. He's going to butt jail.
He's going to butt jail.
Oh hell yeah!
He's going to butt jail. So this week, Chris Evans is our butt jail person. He is going into butt jail this week. Every week,
Congrats,
he
Chris.
puts somebody into the butt jail. So this week, the first episode, Chris Evans, you are going to butt jail. People are probably like, what the
I think
fuck are you talking about?
That's our captain right there. That's America's ass.
That's America's ass in butt jail. Yeah. But
America.
yeah, America. But yes, John Cena, he's Guile. It'd be perfect. It
Yes.
would be absolutely ridiculously perfect. And like he could deliver the lines in that super monotone, bland voice.
Sonic Boom.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God, John Cena's voice saying Sonic
Exactly. Saying, and it would work.
Punch.
Can you imagine? I don't think you understand how much I would mark out in the fucking theater. Ridiculous.
I think I'm already working out and it hasn't happened.
Exactly. Like you have like that's one person where it's like, okay, it's too perfect, right? Like
Yeah.
he has to play this role. So like, yeah, like and like all of the other larger than life characters like Sagat and stuff like that. One, you're not going to be able to find a Thai man that is that large. You're just not. So you'd have to get like Dolph Lundgren for that actually. So but
They're gonna take Tony Jaa and stretch him out all the way.
stretch him out all the way. No, Tony Jaa would play Adam if we're going with the alpha.
Okay, that's cool. Mhm.
So yeah. But yeah. No, there's a bunch of like one day we'll pick a video game and we're gonna have to like fan cast it
Fantasy
here.
cast. Yeah, it'll be fun.
So, Kat, when are you gonna go see Endgame so we can start talking about it?
Oh yeah, we got
I want to see it this weekend. I guess I'm gonna have to see it this weekend.
Well, apparently the Russos have lifted the no spoilers ban. Come, so
Well,
Look,
okay, so
y'all
I
folks have
know.
until Sunday. Look after that. It's
So I know. I asked my coworker already who died. I wanted to know who died
okay.
because I was like, just tell me who died. So last Saturday.
spoilers.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying a spoiler. I'm not gonna tell
Okay.
them. I'm not a dickhead. You know, I'm not gonna. No. So I had part of the movie spoiled for me, because I was out all day last Saturday, and I got home, and Mike, I guess, assumed because I was gone all day that I had gone to see the movie.
Oh.
So him talking to our other friends who had seen it, he doesn't like follow movies really, so he didn't care. He was just like, "Tell me the whole movie."
Right.
So he assuming that I went to go see this movie. Like, I come home, he's like, "Yeah, so can you believe this happened?" And I was in the kitchen, and I was just like, "I didn't go see the movie." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Where have you been all day?" I'm like, "I was at Disney. I didn't go see the fucking movie." And he's like,
Oops. Whoops.
and he was on Twitch, and he was like, "Ah!" So it's just me freaking out. I was like, "Why did you tell me that?" So I think that's like the only thing I'd probably like. I would have like freaked out for.
But like it's the thing is like everybody.
It just sucks.
It's exactly the thing is it was one of those things where everybody. It's not surprising. I'll just put it that way. Like there wasn't a single person that got where I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. It was all like, oh yeah, I knew they were gonna go. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so when you see it, we're gonna do just a whole episode on Endgame, and it's gonna be amazing and hilarious.
And I can't wait.
We're gonna have all the jokes.
We're just gonna roast the movie probably.
Yeah.
No, not the movie, just scenes.
Just the situations. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So
I guess
I
that's my homework for the week, I guess.
yeah, I was gonna say that's your homework. Go watch the movie because we can't keep waiting for you.
All right.
Yeah. Where's my pen? Okay.
All right, y'all. I guess that's a good time before Dio goes and starts lighting up the pen. Last words.
Wash your belly button and behind your ears.
And your ass.
Oh,
And your ass, yeah.
I was gonna say something similar.
Yeah, like that is
You stole my suggestion.
yeah, like especially if you're going to a pro wrestling event.
I thought you were gonna say if you're going to butt jail.
Nah, like it's Butt
That's a
gel,
different film.
butt gel that you buy yourself. So if you want to live with that stink, that's on you. But like if you are going out into a public area, which when I was watching Endgame, like it wafted over, and I said, "What is who?" Like you remember, like back in the day, Kat might not remember this, but like no, like I'm serious because this is before you were born. So Ren and Stimpy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Ren and
Really?
When were you born, Kat?
I was born in 1994.
So yeah, like right,
Right when you were born, Kat.
Whatever. I remember seeing it.
But so like you remember
When
like
Kat was an embryo.
right, when Kat was thought of. So
That
like,
was an accident.
When she was a whoops.
like so you know how like the stink lines would like come off in the thing and it would just like
the aroma.
Oh,
the
it would like
nose.
waft up your nose. Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
like I'm sitting there and everything's cool and it's tense and then it just kind of I was like what the fuck like what is this
Oh my
like
god.
that no what is what no this is uncalled for. I need all
Unnecessary.
wash before you go places. Dudes, wash your ass, especially dudes wash your ass. Just like and if you are trying to do this properly, you cannot use the same washcloth and or loofah that you wash your body with, then take it to the butt. No, you need to have two. And they should not be, you can't cross-contaminate. No. In my shower, I have the loofah that I wash my body with, and I have the loofah that is specifically for washing the butt cheeks. That's it. You have to keep them separate because that bacteria lives on that from then on. What happens? So you go wash your butt, and then the next morning you go grab the loofah and just rub it across your face. That's why y'all got fucked up skin now. And then also, make sure you moisturize after you get out of the shower. That's why y'all motherfuckers is ashy all the time.
Oh my god. And that has been the first episode of the High Mark Podcast. Dio, Kat, Damien, Kat's on Twitter at Arctic's Core, Dio's at I'm Just Dio, and I'm at 347. And remember to exfoliate your butt, apparently. Your butt. Moisturize your butt. Make sure you don't stink. Don't be that person. And don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And drink some water.
Hydrate.
Hydrate. Drink all the waters. Yeah.
All the waters. See you next time, guys.